Hi everybody and welcome to a new video. For those that are new to the channel, my name is Alvaro Montes and I work as a software engineer for companies around the world. Today I would like to talk about the importance of English being a software developer, especially if you are in LATAM and you want to advance your career to the next level, getting hired by international companies. Having a decent level of English can make a huge difference. I also want to mention that English is not my first language, as you probably have noticed already, but I would like to share with you my experiences as a software developer working in English environments. Alright, so I would like to mention that English is very important first because most of the documentation that you will find on the internet is written in English. So many people will say, we already have translations, that is not so important. But let me put you in context. Imagine that you are working in a company and they require you to implement a new functionality that was released recently for a framework. And you go there, but as it was recently released, there are no translations. So that could be a stopper for you. If you already have English in your skill set, it won't be a stopper. You can go through there, read the documentation, and start implementing the new functionality in your project. Also, English can be a huge difference between the salary that you can expect from a company in terms of money. Let me explain you. For example, imagine that you are a junior developer and you don't have any English skills. So you can expect, for example, in Colombia to get a salary between 400 to 1000 USD per month without English. Imagine you are the same junior developer, but in your skill set you have English. You can expect to get salaries between 1000 to 3000. The only difference is that you can communicate with companies that pays more. And just for you to know, nowadays it's much more easier than before to learn a new skill. We have internet, we have YouTube, we have artificial intelligence, and tons of online free courses that you can go there and improve any skill you want, especially English. So don't be lazy and go learn. I want to start talking about the three different levels. We are going to split this video in three levels. Let's start with junior developers, intermediate developers, and senior developers. I would like to explain you a little bit about what are the difference between levels of English for those three. Let's start with junior developers. And probably for this seniority, you can expect the requirement of the English at the lowest point. Basically because you will need to explain what did you do yesterday, what you are going to do today, and what are your priorities for the day. But don't let your guard down because probably you will need to communicate with middle developers, senior developers, in order to get information about specific tickets that you are working at the moment. Also because being a junior developer, it's important for you to keep going, not only improving your English, also improving the whole skill set that you have, and maybe learning new skills. Let's continue with intermediate developers. At this seniority, companies expect from you to have the same skill set as we already have reviewed for junior developers, but also they expect from you the capacity to express your ideas, the capacity to be involved in technical meetings, and also to do pair programming with your co-workers. Alright, finally, English for senior developers. At this seniority, companies expect from you the same skill set that we already have reviewed for junior developers and intermediate developers, with the difference that at this level, you will need to be able to be involved in more complex technical things like code reviews, pair programming, explaining complex technical stuff. So you will need to be able to communicate in a more fluent way. And also, you maybe will be involved on tickets creation, meeting with the clients, or maybe, like talking with people that are not technical, right? That are not involved in the technical part of the application, like people from marketing, clients, and any other person that could be involved in your project. Hey, before continue, if you think this information is important for you, maybe it's important for someone else. I would like to ask you to share, clicking the subscribe button and click on the bell so YouTube will inform you whenever I upload a video. Alright guys, I would like to share with you some advices that can help you to improve your English in the daily basis. Let's start with a template for the daily meeting. Basically, in this template, you will have all the commonly asked questions during the daily meeting, like what did I do yesterday, what I'm going to do today, and what are my priorities for the day. So the idea is that you keep those questions there, and every day you go before the daily meeting and answer those questions. For example, what did I do yesterday? Yesterday I did work on the ticket, so there you change the number of the ticket or the relevant information or the answer for that specific meeting. The same story applies for the rest of the questions. At this way, you can have clear information in your mind, and this will help you to be fluent during your daily meetings. Second advice, try to switch your environment. Everything you have, your cell phone, your tablet, Netflix, and all of the information that you are consuming. Try to consume English information. For example, if you watch certain series, try them in English, because at this way you will have contact with the real sounds. Because even in Spanish, you don't talk like the books tell you that you should talk about grammatical stuff, uh, the structure of the phrases, because in the real life, people don't talk like that. You can notice that also in Spanish, as I mentioned before. So try to stay more in contact with the real sounds. Look for people blogging on internet, watch your series in English, and try to switch your environment. Because, for example, if you switch your cell phone, you might find words that you don't understand, and you will be in the position that you need to learn to go research in order to be able to do certain things. Third advice, try to go to any country where the native language is English, but try to go alone. Don't go with your family, don't go with friends, because they will have your same language. And your priority is to learn. If you go with somebody who talks the same language as you probably will be talking all the travel, all the trip in your mother language. But if you are alone, you will need to figure out how to communicate with the locals, how to get things done in the native language of that country. So go alone. And finally, guys, this is about to practice. Practice, practice, practice makes masters. So try to find somebody who is native English speaker to practice your communication skills with him. You can find friends. There are multiple applications like, I don't know, Tinder or whatever, in where you can find people from around the world that are trying to learn Spanish, and it could be a really good exchange between languages because you can learn English and they can learn Spanish. Also, because at this way you will be listening to the real sounds, a real person who lives a real life telling you things in English, maybe things that are not related with technical stuff. Because the situation is where you are involved in a technical group, maybe your English will be limited. Let me tell you something. I was living in Toronto from 2020 to 2021. When I was there, I thought my level of English was really good until I go to a store to buy a sandwich. I remember the girl asked me something that I couldn't understand, and it was something pretty easy. What topping I wanted on my sandwich? But that word for me was not common. So for me, it was difficult because at that point, I only practiced technical English. So just for you to know. I only have to say thank you for watching these videos, and if you think this information is relevant for you, maybe it's relevant for someone else, as I mentioned before. So please comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next movie.